Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Kirara. She's a support that is coming to a game. She brings super good shields. Today we'll be discussing how you should build her, what the talents do, what teammates you should put with her, and all the artifacts and best builds that you can play on her. So nothing else to say, let's get into the video. So let's start first with the talents. Talents are pretty straightforward. The normal attack, you do 4 rapid stacks. She's a sword wielder, so yeah, keep that in mind. Pretty straightforward. The scalings are not like super huge, but yeah, keep that in mind. I mean, you can do some damage with it. Okay, time for the mental skill, the Meowtour kick. I can't believe I say that name correctly. Basically, you have 2 ways to use this. You have the press option, which basically what does is do a kick that deals AoE dendro damage and creates a shield, and it will apply dendro to you, so you should be careful about having, for example, a pyro aura in you, so if you apply the dendro, you will be burning. The shield will absorb damage. Basically, the shield scaling is this one, and it's a pretty decent shield in my opinion, because it's higher than Diona and Layla shield, for example, and it's a really good option as free to play. And if you want to get her, this shield is barely enough to do some of the content. Obviously, it's worse than Zhongli one, but it has to do the work just fine, because also it's dendro, and on some dendro teams like, for example, Sino, you have a lot of huge impact with shielding, because Sino needs a lot of shielding. But the good thing here is when you hold the skill, because basically you turn into a bot and you will be running the whole battlefield. You can crash into opponents every 0.5 seconds and you will deal AoE dendro damage, and basically you will raise the match shield damage absorption, you will get another shield, and you can stack shields until this match of the shield, which is a lot of HP. As you can see, this shield is really strong, but you have to crash into a lot of enemies in order to activate it, sorry. And yeah, after that you will do a flip claw strike and you will do some AoE dendro damage when the duration ends. The ultimate is pretty straightforward. Basically you put a package and this package will explode, and it will put a lot of cut grass that will explode in contact. Basically, think about this like Klee, for example. You do some damage and then let bombs into the field, which deals some damage, which is really nice. I think this ultimate, for the cost of energy, it's really decent. It can deal a lot of damage. As you can see, at level 9, it's a really good number of scaling. But since we'll be building her probably full HP, you won't be doing that much damage, but yeah, it's a really good scaling. Okay, time for the passive. There's a lot of tests on the first passive, but basically what it does is every time you hit an opponent, you will create a shield, and as a match of 3 stacks, and you will be able to reach this match shield damage absorption basically. So yeah, that's what it does. It's pretty straightforward. You just create more shielding and you do more absorption damage for your shield. The second passive is really important. Basically what it does, for every 1000 match HP that Kirara possesses, will increase the damage dealt by the Meowtour kick by a 0.4% and the ultimate by 0.3%. Pretty straightforward, but this helps you build a lot of HP and stacking a lot of HP, so your shields are stronger and you do more damage. So yeah, basically these are the passive talents of Kirara. I'm really happy with the ability kit that they bring it to us. I think she's gonna be really fun. I think about her like a Sayu, but she's, I think, way better than Sayu because you get the protection. Let's see if when she comes out you have to spend a lot of time with her on the field, but even though you spend a lot of time on the field, it's not that big of a deal, because for example, Hyper Bloom teams, you will be generating a lot of seeds and you will be exploding them with, for example, Cookie E. So yeah, that's something that you should keep in mind. I think it's pretty neat. Let's go into Constellations. Okay, so for first constellation, it's for every 8000 HP that Kirara possesses, she will create 1 extra cut grass common, which is the explosion that will live on the field when using the ultimate, and you can do like that 4 extra. It's pretty straightforward, more damage, more on the field, so more dendro appliance. I think it's pretty neat. The C2, basically what it does is that if you leave the field with Kirara after using the Meowtour kick, you will basically gain the stat that if you crash into opponents, get more shielding. So yeah, basically you do that, but with your character on the field. The C4 is where things can get really amazing. Basically, when you hit opponents with normal charge or plunging attacks, Kirara will perform a coordinated attack, like for example Jalan or Chinkyu, dealing 200 of her attack as dendro damage, and this damage is considered elemental burst damage. And this effect can only be triggered every 3.8 seconds. This is a bit bad. This is interesting, but it's not that great, because the problem with this is that it activates it really slow. So activating it really slow doesn't give you anything, so you can't pair Kirara, for example, with Chinkyu, which is sad, but having another way to apply dendro, I think it's really fine. I'll take it. And finally, CCs, it's all party members gain 12% elemental damage bonus when Kirara uses her skill or burst. It's independent, they don't stack, so yeah, keep that in mind. Pretty straightforward, more damage. Basically, I think the main things to go here, in my opinion, is the C1. If you get the C1, it's really good. The C4 it's okay, but it's not that big of a deal, but get C1. C1 it's really great if you want to go play her. Okay, time for the artifacts. With Kirara you can play 4 pieces Deep Wound Memories or 4 pieces Tenacity of the Myelite. Why do you want to play that? So basically, Deep Wound Memories is because if you are playing double dendro, let's for example put a case of Nahida, Kirara, Chinkyu and Kuki. Basically there you don't want to go with Nahida on your Deep Wound Memory set, you want to go her with Glided Dreams, and your Deep Wound Memory set holder will be Kirara, so she plays all the HPs and she's just a shielder, or Tenacity of the Myelite. Let's put for example the same team, but you have a really good Deep Wound Memories on your Nahida and you want to make your shields stronger, so put Tenacity of the Myelite. It will increase your shielding, it will make your party deal a lot more damage. So yeah, this is basically the 2 sets that I see. Personally, I think it's better Deep Wound Memories in almost all the scenarios. But you can play Tenacity of the Myelite too if you want to go full shield bot and you don't care about anything else. So yeah, this is the artifact set. Let's go into talking about main stats and substats. Okay, so here we are with my Deep Wound Memories holder for Kirara. It's Xinjiang. Okay, so we want to search for main stats HP, HP and HP. It's okay, I know you want to build her more DPS focused, then you can go HP, dendro damage bonus or HP, and crit rate, crit damage depending on your substats in order to balance it. I would rather get 3 HPs, it will make shields go really strong and they can't break your shields that easily. So that's my opinion on what you should put on Kirara. Focus primarily on HPs and energy recharge to get your ultimate back, and then focus on crit rates, crit damages, attacks and all that things. Pretty straightforward character to build. It's really easy to build, really easy, cheap to build. That's really free to play friendly if you see it that way. So yeah, this is Kirara's substats, main stats. Okay, for swords for Kirara, since there aren't really any sword that increases her HP, only the key, and you probably don't have the key or don't want to play on the key on Kirara. If you want, go for it, okay? You can go Primordial Jade Cutter as the best 5-star option to do damage and get some HP. But for the other 5-star options, I don't recommend any of those. Only Skyward Blade maybe can be good, or even Freedom Sword, but the others are not that big of a deal. Maybe Summit Shaper can work, yeah, but you want to get your ultimate back. So since we want to get your ultimate back, you can play Favonius, you can play Sacrificial Sword. I don't highly recommend Sacrificial, but you can play it. A Day Flash because it gives you some energy recharge. Or even, and I'm not kidding about this, Sabu Blade. Sabu Blade can be really good on her because you leave the leaf. I wish you understand that. And if you get the leaf, you will get Elemental Mastery, so your character on fielder will deal a lot more damage. You can even play Chifos and things like that, but I don't really recommend it. Even Amenomaka Takeuchi can be good, but my recommendations are Primordial Jade Cutter as primary 5-star option, Favonius Sword as second option, and Sabu Blade. At least Sabu Blade can be crafted, so it's free to do it. So yeah, this is the weapon section of Kirara. Let's get into the teams. So basically we will be talking about some teams that you can play with her. Basically this is the first team, it's an aggravate team. You have Kekin on fielder, Fischl with the Oz, Nahida that applies a lot of dendro. You can put dendro the main traveler for example if you don't have Nahida, or Yao Yao for example if you don't have the dendro main traveler leveled up. Kirara will be our shielder, will be protecting ourselves and applying some dendro. So yeah, basically this is the aggravate team. You play a lot of Electros plus Dendros. Let's get into the second team. Okay, you can play like this for example, Nilo Bloom team. You can play it with the Kirara. Kirara will be shielding yourself and Kokomi will be healing you. Basically, this team, I think it can be played in some situations. If you get a lot of damage and you can't make your Kokomi survive, maybe Kirara's shield can be enough. I highly prefer Yao Yao over Kirara in some times, because if you don't get enough healing, you will die anyways. But yeah, this is another way to see it. Let's get into another team. This is a team I talked about recently. It's Kirara, Chinkyu, Nahida, and Kuki Shinobu. Basically a Hyper Bloom team. Pretty basic, but you have more defensive utility than you should do. If you don't feel that comfortable with that much defensive utility, you can swap, for example, Nahida for a more aggressive character, like for example Al-Haytham, or you can even put another Hydro, like for example Yelan. Both things are really good. Keep yourself with what makes you more comfortable or what you need the most. So yeah, this is the Hyper Bloom team. Let's get into another team. This team for Kirara, I think, can be working really good, since most of teams on Salad don't have a real healer or a real shielder. I think Kirara, if you struggle with this type of teams where you don't have shielders, I think Kirara will do really good, because you will get a lot of damage reduction from Chinkyu, plus the shield of Kirara will be super great and you will be a lot more comfortable with this Salad team, and your Dendro appliance won't be that great, but it can work, and maybe sacrificing a bit of Dendro appliance for more comfortable can be better for you, who knows. This is a Curry team, basically the Barjon team. Basically you swap Sucrose for Toma and you can kill the seeds with Barjon with the Toma appliance. Yeah, you have double shielding, but the good thing here is that you can go Toma full elemental mastery without worrying about having HP and not having defensive utility, and with Kirara you will have a lot of defensive utility. So yeah, this is the end of the team section. So yeah, this marks the end of the guide, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think Kirara can be pretty neat, and she's a really good defensive option for a lot of teams, and for a lot of people I think being comfortable it's better than doing tons of damage, because if you are comfortable you may clear the abyss easier because you don't have to think that much, or even for overwall can be really good and decent. Yeah, this is the end of the video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.